So Southern Cross University has a long history in supporting naturopathic medicine and continues that today with being the first university in Australia to offer postgraduate pathways in naturopathic medicine. So what is the National Centre for Naturopathic Medicine? So NCNM is a new centre, just opened up early this year, and its main purpose is to be a hub for innovation in three key areas: in research, education, and leadership. A unique aspect of NCNM is that we are truly multidisciplinary. We have expertise not just in naturopathic medicine, education, and research, but also in nutrition, herbal medicine, psychology, nursing, law, and biomedicine. The vision of NCNM is to empower future leaders in the field of naturopathic medicine. Physically, we are located on the Lismore campus, but our team is dispersed across all campuses. So let's look more closely around the educational hub within NCNM. So as many of you may know, natural medicine has changed considerably over the last century, but it's somewhat stalled maybe in the last decade or so. We're just very fortunate where a degree is a pathway into the profession, but that pathway has not necessarily been innovative. It tends to have also, for some time, been quite attached to that historical vocational model. And unfortunately, a lot of the vision within those programs has been about preparing naturopaths for what we see them as being today, rather than what we're seeing as being in the future. So NCNM represents a game changer in the field because we see the field as being where we would like it to be. So we're actually looking at preparing a profession, preparing a workforce that can better meet the healthcare needs of consumers, of families, of communities, of the population. So what is our vision here at NCNM? We call these the 3 E's. Our vision is to enrich clinical practice, enhance professional standing, and empower future leaders. So how do we achieve that? We achieve that through a number of strengths. One of those strengths is that we have access to an international team of experts in naturopathic medicine, education, and research. And these experts are actually true leaders in the field. They're trailblazers. They're setting new benchmarks for the field. With access not only to those experts, but also experts in educational design, in pedagogy, in educational technology, we actually have the capacity to deliver innovative approaches to naturopathic medicine teaching and learning that hasn't necessarily been seen in nat med education in Australia before. Absolutely underpinning our programs is the need to be interactive, engaging, and meaningful. This is to ensure that what is learned in the classroom is absolutely authentic, but also translatable and applicable to clinical practice. So where potentially can these programs take you? So most of you, at the moment, we are offering mostly postgraduate offerings. So most of you will probably come back with a nat med background or an interest in, say, the organic stream. So within the nat med area, bachelor degrees are generally focused on preparing people for private practice as a nat med practitioner. We're looking at thinking forward and thinking about where else would we like to see the profession heading and what contribution can the profession make to the healthcare system more broadly. Start thinking about where nat med practitioners can potentially work, so thinking beyond private practice and thinking about their role maybe in teams, working in other healthcare settings, maybe working beyond healthcare and thinking about their role in public health, community health, in regulation and policy, but also thinking about its contribution to the field in the areas of education and research. So how about the organic movement, the organic food and nutrition program? The idea there is to provide some foundational knowledge and skills to allow you to work across the whole organic food industry, right from organic food production, right through to retail, commerce, regulation and policy development. So let's focus a bit more on some of those key programs we have to offer at NCNM. So the first of these is the Graduate Certificate in Advanced Naturopathic Medicine. This certificate starts in January next year. And the purpose of the certificate is to extend your knowledge and skills in naturopathic medicine. So not just your clinical knowledge and skills, but also those professional skills such as critical thinking, clinical reasoning, information literacy, and research literacy. So the purpose then of the program is to expand your career and postgraduate education opportunities, to get you to start thinking a bit differently as a practitioner and thinking about your role of naturopathic medicine within the healthcare system. So this program is currently offered 3 times next year, January, April, and August, and is solely offered online. But the benefit of that is that it allows absolute access to everyone across Australia, but also allows absolute flexibility for people who may have other work or family commitments. So the program itself contains 4 units, and if you study the program for part-time, you can complete those units over an 8-month period. So what about the Masters? The Master of Advanced NatMed, of course, is a bit longer. It contains 8 units, and the idea is it actually goes beyond expanding your knowledge, but actually advancing your knowledge and skills, not just in those professional areas, so research literacy, information literacy, and so on, but also an opportunity to actually gain some skills and knowledge in particular specialties of practice. So at the moment, we have 3 specialties of practice within that program, and they have been driven by what the industry is telling us is important to them. So they are reproductive health, mental health, and gastrointestinal health. And as a person who might be enrolling in this program, you can choose to either specialise in one of those areas or actually be more of a generalist and pick and choose the electives that best meet your needs and the needs of your patients and community. It's like the Grad Cert. This program is offered 3 times throughout the year, is solely online for flexibility and accessibility. And if you complete all 8 units part-time, you can complete this program in 1.3 years. The other program we have to offer is our Graduate Certificate in Organic Food and Nutrition. This program has actually officially started. It started this week. We have our first cohort of students running through that program. And this is the first postgraduate qualification in organics in Australia. So like I mentioned before, NCNM are really setting some new ground. The idea here is to really enhance your understanding of organic food systems. So the program itself goes right from the basics, from soil health and how that impacts on plant health, animal health, and human health, and looks at the relationship between organic foods and nutrition and health. This program is offered 4 times in a year, contains 4 units, and again is solely online. And if you complete all 4 units part-time, you can complete the program in 8 months. So that's just hopefully just a very quick snapshot of our programs. I guess the idea is to give you more time to ask questions that are more pertinent to yourself. But before we do that, I'll hand you over to Associate Professor Lausch, who'll talk about our research programs.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Reese, for the introduction, and thanks, Matthew, for your presentation on the educational pathways. So as said before, our center is really new. It's been established in March 2020. And one thing, like our vision is that we conduct research that is rigorous and of highest quality and is informed by community need and clinical practice. As our center staff has diverse backgrounds and qualifications and expertise, and that translates directly into diversity in research methods and research areas. So we can cater any kind of research from basic science to clinical science, health services research, or public health research. One of our goals, of course, is to build capacity and leadership by mentoring the next researcher generation, and that might be you eventually. We do have several strengths. We have a broad national and international network of experts in research, but not just research, also in industry, in education. Our partnerships are very sustainable, and we offer a very unique and rigorous program. And one thing you may want to keep in mind is that our research ties in with other centers at the university as well. So we naturally align with other disciplines in health, like nursing, psychology, osteopathy, sports or exercise science, as well as science, for example, plant science. So at this stage, we have 2 degrees. On the next slide, you can see our first research degree, that is the Master's by Research or Master's by Thesis, and it's a Master's in Health Science. The Master's of Health Science is really to develop your knowledge and research skills that are essential for your research or academic career, and there might actually be a pathway for a PhD study if you don't have any postgraduate qualification yet. You can enroll in any time. The master will be offered in Lismore, but also online. And I guess depending on the restrictions and whether campus will be opened or not, online is actually quite a feasible solution at this time. The duration is 2 years if you study full-time, 4 years if you study part-time. The admission requirement for the Masters of Research is a bachelor's degree from the university, and we're also welcoming international students. For them, there's another requirement, which is the English language proficiency they need to provide. That is our master's degree. On the next slide, we have our Doctor of Philosophy degree. It's a PhD in health science. And if you study that, you can create a meaningful contribution to health research. You can help us increase the evidence base of naturopathy through scholarly work, and this may represent a major milestone for your academic career. Again, you can enroll at any time. The only limitation in terms of enrollment may be if you require a scholarship, because there are certain deadlines that you have to meet for the scholarship and for commencing a scholarship. Again, you can study in Lismore, but you can also study online, and we also welcome international candidates. The PhD takes 3 to 4 years full-time and 6 to 8 years part-time. Again, there are like different time frames, like 3 years is because your scholarship will usually be covered for 3 years. The admission requirement are you either have a bachelor's degree from the university with first-class honors, or you have a second-class honors first division, or you do provide a degree equivalent to a master's degree that has to have a relevant research component. Again, international students also have to provide English language proficiency tests. We do provide, SCU provides scholarships. You might want to consider a government scholarship, an RTP scholarship that covers a PhD for 3 years and a master's degree for 2 years. We also have options for industry co-funded research scholarships that need to be discussed on a case-by-case basis. At this stage, if you are an undergraduate student and you want to gain insights into our research degrees and you don't know if research is the right thing for you, I'll just make a very quick announcement. We are very soon announcing our summer research scholarships. They are specifically targeted at undergraduate students to undertake short-term research projects within our center's research areas. And it really gives you the chance to develop skills in research and explore whether a higher degree in research might be the right thing for you. The first round will be open for SCU undergraduate students, and depending on the restrictions, we prefer an on-site training in Lismore, and the training would be between 6 and 12 weeks during session 3, and on the long term in any study period, but for now we're looking at this summer study session. So of course, in terms of infrastructure, we are well equipped. Expertise is we all have different expertise. SCU has state-of-the-art laboratories, so our collaboration with different centers is very essential. We have established international collaboration and reputation and professional networks that we can draw on.